رملة من تنشدني جرحني نشدها، رملة من تنشدني جرحني نشدها، وبأيديها حنتي القاسم بعدها، وبأيديها حنتي القاسم بعدها. تريد تعلق بالدرب شمعة لولدها، تريد تعلق بالدرب شمعة لولدها، وش يصبر الوالدة تفقد ضمدها، اش يبقى عدها، اش يبقى عدها، بديها من الطفوف شموع جسام، تقول وليدكون ترد الايام، بديها من الطفوف شموع جسام، تقول وليدكون ترد الايام. بس هالواحد بحضان المني بدروب الشام مجتوفة وسبية، مجتوفة وتوضيت بمدامع، توضيت بمدامع، اي على نوق السبي صار أجرك على الزهراء، الشام مشطوفة وسم ايدك ايدك. ليلة اسمع حتون فوق الهزيلة، اسمع فدوة. ليلة اسمع حتون فوق الهزيلة، لسه يرجع بالسلامة تندعي له، سولفت ويراس بنها وتشتكي له. شو تقول له لوليد؟ سولفت ويراس بنها وتشتكي له، ترضى تعمى من البواتي عيون ليلة. يا ليلة يا ابني يا علي الأكبر سلامات، عفت قلبي بعذابه والصبر مات. يا ابني يا علي الأكبر سلامات، عفت قلبي بعذابه والصبر مات. يصعب هجرك يا ابني وتدربي بدروب الشام، فدوة مشتوفة وسبية ايدك ايدك مشتوفة. توضيت بمدامع توضيت بمدامع نايباتي، على نوق السبيل صارت صلاة اجرك على الزهراء. توضيت بمدامع نايباتي، على نوق السبيل صارت صلاة. وغياب اهلي بدروب الشام مشتوفة وسبية، مشتوفة وسبية. اي والربابة هي الرباب اسألني عنها، والله لو لحظة ولا غمض جفنها، بالدروب كله تشيم بقماط ابنها. بالدروب كله تشيم بقماط ابنها، وين عبد الله يناشدها حضنها يا حسين. لهذا الحال حالي وما حد وياي، اسمع أسكت هاي ترجع تنتحي بهاي، على هاي الحالة حالي وما حد وياي ابو علي خوي. أسكت هاي ترجع تنتحي بهاي، وانا احبابي ما حد ظللي، بدروب الشاب مكتوفة وسبية، مكتوفة توضيت بمدامع، توضيت بمدامع نايباتي، على نوق السبي صار
He tells me, oh, my rose, why are your eyes wet? I tell him your absence my heart can't accept. My father, every night at your side I've slept. I've never met anyone like you I've met. Your hand in my hand, always I would have kept. Every day I was apart from you I've wept. He tells me, oh young one, it is God's decision.
والله يا زهرة ما ننسى حسينا، أبد والله يا زهرة ما ننسى حسينا. يا لثارات الحسين، يا لثارات الحسين، يا لثارات الحسين، يا لثارات الحسين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brothers and sisters and dear viewers, and welcome to this live Arbaeen Correspondence, where we have correspondents all over Iraq to bring us the latest images and the latest news from the Arbaeen pilgrimage. Now, when we look at some events around the world, there are events that fill stadiums, there are events that fill cities, and then there is Arbaeen, an extraordinary journey that brings together millions of people from across the world, not because they were invited, but because they were inspired. Inspired by the life of one man, a man who chose principle over power, justice over oppression, sacrifice over surrender. His name, Imam Hussein bin Ali alayhim as-salam. For more than 13 centuries, this message has traveled from one generation to the next, from one heart to another, until today. It has become a movement unlike any other. Here, the roads don't simply lead to a city, they lead to a purpose. Along the way, you'll witness something remarkable. A child offering water to strangers, a family giving away everything they have to honor guests they may never see again. A pilgrim walking through exhaustion, not because the journey is easy, but because love makes every step worthwhile. This is a place where kindness is a language everyone understands, where generosity is measured not by what you have, but by what you're willing to give, where millions of footsteps become one shared declaration, that the values Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam stood for are still alive. Tonight, we'll leave the headlines behind and discover the stories that truly define Arbaeen. The story of faith, the stories of service, the stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So wherever you're joining us from around the world, we invite you to walk with us, not just along the road to Karbala, but into the heart of one of the greatest expressions of devotion and humanity the world has ever seen. Welcome to the Arbaeen Correspondent. The journey begins now. I'm now joined in the studio by a very, very special guest, a man who him and his father began the Arbaeen March in the UK. We want to explore why they started it, how they started it, and how it began when it was in its early days. Brother Waqar Haidar, Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
It's a pleasure for us to host you here and have you here.
No, it's very kind of you to invite me on.
We wanted to start by, I mean, you don't look like you're above the age of 40, but let's assume. Take us back, 40 odd years ago. I know the Arbaeen March has been around for over 40 years.
Yeah.
What inspired your father to organize the Arbaeen March in London?
It was 1982. I was 11 years old at the time. And
you're giving your age away.
Yeah, I've given away now. So in those days, Arbaeen was in December, in the winter. Okay, and Maulana Sabzwari is quite well known in based there, and I believe Maulana Ashik Hussain came to my father saying, we want you to find out how to do an Arbaeen procession. Mm-hmm. So my father then spoke to we live in Harrow for our whole lives, went to the local MP, mm-hmm. and of course in those days there's no internet, mm-hmm. there's no Google to find out how to apply for things.
Yeah.
So went to his MP. The MP said, I have no idea, speak to Scotland Yard. Then Scotland Yard said, go to the Houses of Parliament. So in those days...
Oh, so they took you up the ladder?
Yeah. So in those days, in the Houses of Parliament, there used to be a small office for processions.
Well, okay.
So my father went to that office. It's now no longer there, but in 1982, he went to the office there and asked, I would like to do a procession. So they said, okay, how about venue? Where do you want to do it? So the very first was in Hyde Park, but in the centre of Hyde Park, a place called Reformers Tree, okay? And in those days, look, now if you type in Arbaeen or Imam Hussein, you'll get pages and pages online. In those days, it would be very hard to find a book in the library about Islam. Forget Shiaism or Karbala.
Yeah.
So the police had no idea. So they asked my father, can you explain to us, give us a document about what you're doing and why you're doing it?
And
so
your father came to this country when?
1966.
1966?
Yeah, he came as a physics teacher.
Oh, wow,
so he taught physics, and he's also a very good tennis player. As he was back in Pakistan, he was a captain of his university.
Wimbledon
team.
level or just below?
Well, that's a long story. But he was an amateur player, of course.
Okay.
But he was a keen sportsman. So when he came to England, he taught physics, but was also at a grammar school in Orpington. He was a tennis coach there. Okay. And then, just out of his own time. And then one day, some parents, no idea who they were, gave my mother and father tickets to the Wimbledon final.
Okay.
So he saw my mother and father went to Wimbledon and saw Arthur Ashe beat Jimmy Connors. Okay. It's a long time ago.
No idea who they are.
But that's how
back to the Arbaeen procession.
So he came there. So back to the Houses of Parliament. So the police asked, can you explain to us? We don't understand what Ya Hussein is or anything similar. So then my father then borrowed my neighbour's, I remember Christine, her typewriter, and then typed a small document explaining Arbaeen and Imam Hussein to the
And I'm
police.
assuming Christine wasn't a Muslim.
No, of course not.
But subhanAllah, Christine...
It was her typewriter.
It was her typewriter and her allowance of us using that typewriter, or you to use that typewriter, that has led to the thousands gathering every year.
And in those days, no one knew how to type.
Right.
There was that issue as well. Okay, it wasn't that serious. Anyway, so the document went through, and then in the very first year, it was December, I think the 12th, it was bitterly cold, temperature was 0, and for me, being an 11-year-old child, I had no idea what a masira or a julus was, because we had never seen it. If you're born in the UK, and you've not been anywhere else in your life, except in the UK, and there was no videos in those days of processions in India, Pakistan, or Iraq, or Iran, or anywhere.
Yeah.
So you didn't know what to expect. So for a child, I was quite excited and curious, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew what Martam was, I knew what Majlis was,
Yeah.
but going outside in the public was a completely different story. So we
And
arrived.
of course, 1982 was 5 years after Saddam Hussein had actually banned the Arbaeen walk. So
Yeah, that's correct. In 1997, yeah.
Yeah, I think at a very vital time, your father actually took the necessary step to introduce the Arbaeen march.
And also, it was time of the Iran-Iraq war.
Yeah.
So the police were very concerned about possible troubles at the end from different groupings.
Right.
So what happened was that on the very first year, we only had one alam, just one flag. So
Wow.
we got to Marble Arch, there's myself, my father, and Maulana, of course. 3 of us there, there's no one there. But when we opened the flag, slowly we could see people walking towards the alam.
Wow.
And there was probably about maybe 100 people maximum.
How did you announce it, or was it just the case of people who are walking by seeing?
No. So my father then I think got a list from somewhere of the UK mosques or Hussainias.
Okay.
And in those days, there weren't many anyway. So he was...
The yellow pages.
Yeah, and again, it was all manual. So he would type it, and I remember using Tipex to correct the mistakes and typing letters to Manchester and Bradford and elsewhere.
Oh, wow.
So maybe, I'm guessing, maybe 10 or 12 places. And in London, we all in the centres, okay? And in those days, the most senior alim was Sayyid Mahdi al-Hakim.
Yeah.
He was by far the most senior alim, the son of Ayatollah Musa Hakim. And being the most senior alim, everybody respected him. And everybody, you wouldn't blink. Whatever he said, he was a very, very loving, quiet person.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a person who, but he had this aura around him.
Right.
So my father went to him as well and said, look, what do you think of this? And he would come every year. Until he was killed by Saddam, he would attend every year. He used to travel a lot because of his political activity against Saddam,
Right.
all over the world. But he used to say, tell me whenever the date is, I'll make sure I'm in London on that day.
Wow.
So for the first 5-6 years, him and his Sayyid Baharloom, if you remember him, would both always attend at Hyde Park. And after 3 years, or 4 years, we moved to Marble Arch.
Okay.
And that was the police's idea. But on the last year in Hyde Park, some people bought some zanjir with blades on. And then I remember Sayyid Mahdi Hakim and Sayyid Baharloom was standing and just doing Matam and just surrounding
By Zinjir.
and they were just surrounding it and they just carried on.
Now, at the time, did you ever imagine it would grow to what it's grown to now?
No, because the very first year...
You said 100 people.
100, if that. And you know what? Like my father says, there were 3 or 4 coaches because they were worried about security.
Yeah.
So there were more police officers
Yeah.
than there were actual Mormon in Hyde Park. That's how it was. Then, like you said, it then evolved and we moved to Marble Arch. But even in the early 90s, 1,000 people maybe,
Wow.
Maybe a few coaches would come from Manchester, from Bradford. In fact, the very first coach we came in 82 was, where was it from? I think Newport.
Wow.
That was the very, very first coach which came.
Wow.
And that was in the first year. So you could argue half the people were from not from here, they're from Wales.
Newport.
From Newport.
Oh, wow. Big shout out to the Newport community. For the community, for the Shia community, obviously it was something new. Maybe the elders had maybe heard of it, but for the community, what was it like trying to message them or send them letters saying, what was their reaction
I think some communities were very, very proactive, very keen.
Okay.
And some people were not even keen. They thought it was a bad idea. So you did have a lot of people, even that didn't understand, okay? Or perhaps didn't have the same passion that we had. So in the early years, you still had to convince a lot of people that please come to Arbaeen. Wow. Unlike today, where it's a completely different story. But in the 80s, there were still certain mosques and certain communities which were a bit, not scared, but they were a bit wary of doing Matam on the streets,
right.
doing namaz on the streets. Salah. I mean, to hear the azan in Hyde Park, for example, or now in Marble Arch, you know. But in those days, you didn't hear the azan ever in public, and you never heard Masayib, you never heard anything in any, especially Matam, because they could, they think that people laugh at us, for example.
Right.
I remember some people saying that to us, people laugh at you. But but my father he's quite maybe because he's a teacher, he's got quite a strong, in fact, very strong belief.
He treats everyone as his student.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I think his personality or is such that when he wants to do something, he'll do it. You know, come hell or anything else, he will do his best to do it. So he was very determined.
Right.
And I think you had to have determination, but it's something new, and it was something which you had to do a lot of explaining. And maybe being a teacher, that helps you, but you had to explain, and you had to explain to the Shia community why you're doing this. So in the first few years, it was very simple. You'd have 1 or 2 speeches. In the first azan, salah, Zohrain, then you'd have 1 or 2 speeches, and the short in Hyde Park, and then Marble Arch procession, that was it. When we moved to Marble Arch, initially we went to Majma, to Holland Park.
Right.
For the first few years, it started in Marble Arch and ended actually in Majma. So we would do Mashaya right at the end in Majma.
Right.
Then the neighbours would complain that when you're going down these narrow streets and doing this matam,
it's loud.
Yeah, it's loud. And also, women were saying, look, please, can you start at the same place and finish the same place?
Right.
For our children, our pushchairs, our parking, and everything else. So for some reason, then we changed to where we are now for more than 30 years, well, for I think almost 40 years now, Marble Arch to Marble Arch.
Marble Arch to Marble Arch.
And the whole idea was that we can start finish the same place, and also we stick to Sunday purely because Sunday, even today, is free parking.
Sure.
So on a single yellow line, you can park.
Yeah.
So that's still a great. It's very very useful for more money in the day.
No, definitely very
to have
useful.
free parking. There's so much around Hyde Park where you can get free parking. So this is why we've stuck to Sunday, but the route now is from we start at Marble Arch, finish Marble Arch, but it has the whole day has changed. Yes, we still have the azan, we still have Quran, we still have the speeches, but we have a lot more now going on.
And you know, people arrive, or the Mawakib arrive at maybe 4 or 5 a.m. To Marble Arch to set up.
Well, I know some of the Khadims of Karbala, their group from Rasul Azam, they come at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And more than that, you now have at least 3 centres which walk to Marble Arch.
Oh, wow.
So that's not easy. That's women, children. I've seen people in wheelchairs coming. They come from East London, from Stratford Station.
Yep.
They come from Idara Jafia, Tooting. They're coming from Bawal Murad and Harrow. So far, 3 centres have announced that they're going to walk. That's an 8-mile walk, 7-mile walk.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going with children, 8 in the morning. And you know what? They've also developed their route where they've now added a mulki in between, or they've added 2 mulkis in between.
Amazing.
One at Battersea Park, for example, for Idara Jafia, one somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
Equally for Stratford. So now people are coming forward that we'll make a mulki for you. We'll serve you tea and coffee.
So you would say that, subhanAllah, this thing has grown into something that what feels like a mini Arbaeen, a mini Karbala Arbaeen, would you say?
I think it has, and also like this year I had the honour to be in Istanbul for Ashura.
Oh, brilliant.
It was one of my dreams to go there for Ashura. And that was just like a mini Karbala. It was, Ashura in Istanbul was amazing.
Wow.
It was really amazing, and ended in a stadium. But yet, equally here, the fact you've got now South London, East London, West London, 3 different sections who are walking. I mean, we're only there for a few hours. They're there, hats off to them.
Yeah.
I think there are so many, like you say, we have 28 mulkibs. They work really hard.
And we need to get Hussein to represent North London and start walking.
Right, from their centre. Yeah, but I think we should. Then we have north, east, south, and west.
Yeah, exactly. What would you say, looking back, was the single biggest obstacle you and your father faced when you started the Arbaeen March? Because I know you spoke about going to your local MP, then going to Scotland Yard, and then going to the Houses of Parliament.
Yes.
But then also you had the reluctance of some communities.
Yes.
What would you say was your single biggest obstacle back in the day?
In the first year, I remember this, even when I was young, that some ulama in our community objected.
Really?
So my father went through somebody, a third party, then it was Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran. And then he gave a statement on TV, as giving his blessing to the first Arbaeen procession.
Okay.
And when he gave that, these ulama here suddenly came the following year. So that was a problem. There was a problem the first year that people were nervous.
Yeah.
But now, alhamdulillah, and I think especially because now you have after Saddam in Iraq, the way the Arbaeen has expanded. Because I remember ulama told me that in the 60s, it was only Iraqis which walked, and mainly ulama which walked, from Najaf to Karbala. Okay?
Yeah.
But now the size of Arbaeen is, for those who have not been, is unimaginable.
Astronomical.
Because they're not just walking from Najaf, they're walking from everywhere. From Nasiriyah, from Basra, from all over Iraq. Now for Iran, they're walking as well. So Arbaeen has become so big. So I think now people now understand Arbaeen. And maybe that's one reason why people now in London, and in fact, we have at least 20 or 30 coaches which come every year. These are all coaches which fund themselves, come by themselves. Like Newport, for example, have 3 or 4 coaches. Bradford, from Manchester, from Leicester, from Glasgow, all over Birmingham, all over the UK, these coaches come. And maybe some of that is down to Iraq, and people saying, if we can't go to Iraq, there are so many people who fly back on Sunday morning or Saturday, especially from Iraq, to make sure they don't miss out in Marble Arch. That's amazing. So the passion in Momineen and the awareness, and I think with social media, where people even haven't been to Iraq, they understand and they know how amazing or how big Arbaeen is, it makes people want to go. If we can't go there, we'll come here. And I think that's a big factor.
Yeah, and you know, you said people come from Glasgow, people come from Bradford. When obviously there are Arbaeen processions happening maybe more locally to them, maybe in like Manchester. I think Glasgow itself has an Arbaeen procession. But I wanted to, a lot of people don't see behind the scenes when it comes to the Arbaeen procession. Alhamdulillah, I've been lucky enough to see one part of it, which was when? I think 2014 or 15.
Okay.
I remember being part of the education team.
Okay.
And led by brother Zain
Zain
Ali.
Ali, that's right, he's now in Dubai.
Yeah. So brother Zain Ali was, I remember him, and a huge shout out to him. And you know, I remember we went into a building and we were sort of removing the thorns of roses and putting messages.
That's right, I remember that, yes.
Yeah.
That was one of his initiatives.
Yeah, exactly. And just to educate people.
Yeah.
And I remember it was the height of ISIS at the time.
Yes, it was.
And you know, me being 15 years old, me trying to use more sophisticated language. I was trying to tell an English woman that because she thought we were sort of Islamic fundamentalists. And I said to her, and I was trying to say, we condemn ISIS. And I said, we condone.
Oh no.
Astaghfirullah. And she said, so why do you condone it? I was like, sorry, we condemn it. We condemn it. We condemn it. But, you know, many people don't see the behind the scenes, and they only see the procession itself. Leading up to the Arbaeen procession, in the months leading up to it, what sort of things are you planning for? What permissions are you getting? Who are you contacting? Take us through
Just before we answer that, your bit about ISIS. As you know, we were a non-political event. We try and avoid all kinds of politics. However, that was the year that we had these huge placards made saying no to ISIS.
Exactly.
Imam Hussain is a no to ISIS.
Exactly.
And that was the year, astaghfirullah, I would never ever buy the Sun newspaper, but the Sun newspaper published an article.
Wow.
Praising the Shia Muslims who were in Park Lane holding up the placard, no to ISIS.
Wow.
So these small things, I mean, who would ever think you would ever read the word Imam Hussain alayhi salam in the Sun newspaper? And in a positive manner.
Yeah, exactly.
So going back to your question about preparation. Correct. The first Sunday after Arbaeen. Correct.
First Sunday after Arbaeen. Before August, before July, before June, you know, when do you start? What month are you starting?
So we start about 4 months before. Okay. We actually work all year round, but there's always things to be made.
Okay.
For example, you may have noticed now in the last 10 years, all our alams, all our flags are in English. Okay. Or they're English and Arabic. So that way, if you are passing by and you don't know what Labbaik Ya Hussain means, you just type into Google and you'll find out straight away.
Exactly.
And I learned that about 10 years ago. We were going to a meeting in Hyde Park. There's a blue plaque there. I didn't know who it was. And my son was with me. He was like 10. And he typed it in Google. Oh, this person was this.
Okay.
So it gave me the idea. So everything is English. So these things have to be made. You can't buy them. You can't buy Labbaik Ya Hussein or Labbaik or Ya Zainab or Ya Aliska in English anywhere.
Yeah.
So these things have to be purpose built. They have to be bespoke.
Yeah.
So we've developed a network of different people in different countries who make different things for us. Okay. So in Najaf and in Karbala, we have two khayyats, two tailors, who make these large 5-meter flags for us in English and Arabic.
Brilliant.
So there'll be one line English, one line Arabic. Equally, so that we have flags we made in English in Iran. We get the coins every year. Every year we hand out 4,000 packets, small packets, with a mohor inside from Karbala, with a tasbih inside, with a small coin from Jamkara of Imam Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then each year we have different things. Maybe a wristband with 3 names on. This year we've had metal trolley coins made, £1 coins. One side saying Labbaik Ya Hussein, one side having our logo on. So these are all packed. So all these things have to be ordered and then packed through Muharram.
And months in advance.
Months in advance.
Yeah.
Equally, when it comes to, we have this year, I think, 28 charities.
Okay, brilliant.
And remember, we don't charge anybody anything, okay? Whatever they raise goes straight to them, okay? But it's always a challenge. Like, this year we have a theatre there. Previous year, the Queen died in the previous years. We did last year, we had to change the date. Or we had a small mountain in Marble Arch. So that closed off virtually the whole section completely.
And that's one of the things where I'm just like, when you're changing dates or when you're getting permission, what sort of things are you having to get approved before anyone can walk the Arbaeen procession?
Okay. So you normally speak to Westminster Council.
Okay.
You speak to them, of course, Scotland Yard, Metropolitan Police. They're the main people. Before, the movement of power moves. The seat moves all the time. So, for example, the first 15 years, it was only Scotland Yard. Then it went to Westminster Council. Now it's back with the Metropolitan Police.
Okay.
So it moves around, okay?
Yeah.
So of who you're dealing with. But you have to make sure that when you deal with people, we have to always be positive. Don't be arrogant. Some people don't always demand, I demand this, I demand this, I demand this. That's probably not our style, okay? It's true, in this country you've got lots of rights, but I'm not a person who believes in demanding all the time.
True.
Demanding various things.
True, and I think that's one thing where we see people coming to the UK that, take a chill out, you have your rights, but don't demand it.
So then again, we're back to preparation. We've got things like we have to, every year, of course, design the posters. We have, the only one we print is in English, which goes to all centres. But on WhatsApp, we send out in English, in Arabic, in Farsi, and Urdu. So we have 4 languages of posters that go out to cover those in the older generation who've got WhatsApp and they can then read it. The number of phone calls I get from people who speak to me, and I don't speak Arabic, I'm sorry, I don't speak Farsi either, but you surprise them of calls I get, people calling me, and then I'll forward them the Arabic or the Farsi poster, especially the aunties which call me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can then, here's your poster in your language to help them. And so we have each year you're designing things, you're looking at the posters, like I say, you're packing, and for the actual event, for 2 weeks our house becomes a jungle where everything comes out. For example, you've got 25 megaphones, you check all the batteries, you got all the musallas and everything else we need. And in fact, last year, we were so short of those roll-out prayer mats. And the problem was the ones that we use are from Pakistan, because they're made of like polypropylene, so they're waterproof, and they're woven, so they're a bit cushioned as well. It's good for your knees.
Yeah, brilliant.
But then, from Karachi, getting them made, send them across, and we found out actually by air it's costing a fortune, and then they're coming by sea. So you're always working on things, what do we need for next year? We always make a list, what do we need for next year? What did we miss out on this year?
Right.
So how can we improve things? Toilets, for example. Toilets
Big
may be the most unattractive thing. Do you mind helping us pay for toilets? For example, no. People want to bring food and drink, and they don't pay for toilets. But toilets, surprisingly, is one of the most expensive things to have. Because on Sundays, and the TV screen and sound system, anything delivered on Sunday, you pay triple the price for pick and drop.
Wow.
So if you had it on Monday, like the weekend, drop them Friday, pick Monday, it would almost be half the cost. But who will look after it?
Sure.
There's the issue of security. We're there only from like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Who look up? So we have to have a pick and drop the same day. So this year we've got, because of the demand for toilets, I remember you've got 3 groups who are walking there, plus all the coaches with a 5-hour drive, 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive. They need toilets.
Your head must just be exploding every year.
I think the last few weeks, we just want to make sure we can try and make things better and better.
Yeah.
And we can only do that with people's ideas and people's health. This year we've got 16 toilets with 8 sinks, hot water, cold water,
Excellent.
lighting, 2 cleaners are coming with them. They'll clean all day.
Excellent.
But normally, please try and flush only once.
Yeah.
So the water will be replenished halfway through.
Yeah.
But everyone try to be careful. There are bins everywhere. Put tissue in the bins. We don't block the toilets. And try to be as fast as you can.
Yeah. Do you have some things like insurances you need to take out
Yes.
for this?
So we have to have what's known as public liability insurance,
Okay.
either 5 or 10 million pounds.
Oh wow.
So that has to be done as well. That's a requirement by the council. If you hold a public event, you must have public liability insurance. Yeah, you're right. So that's one more thing we have to do.
Yeah, I mean,
each year.
talk to me about coordinating with the local council, the police, the emergency services, and sort of other authorities, so that you make sure everything runs smoothly. What sort of things are they discussing with you?
The police work very closely with the council.
Okay.
So at the moment, the police are in charge on the day. They're in charge, and they know us very well.
Excellent.
But you've got 44 years of history.
Yeah.
Okay. And they know that we've never done anything which we shouldn't have done. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're always very careful to try and be. For example, this year we've got Hussain. They've developed a cleaning squad.
Brilliant.
So they've announced we are asking volunteers to be in the Hussain Arbaeen cleaning squad.
Amazing.
So again, you want to leave Marble Arch to the council and the police cleaner
Then you found it.
than you found it. That's where we should be. Okay.
That's the message of Imam and
Yeah.
Hussein that we're trying to portray.
And this amount is this. And so again, we need volunteers. Look, one day a year. You know, if you want us to have the best relationship with the police and with the council and with TfL and the mayor's office, all these people are watching us. What are we doing? You know.
Yep.
You know, come and help. You know, it's one day a year. I mean, I've seen before in the past, a volunteer was 75 who
Wow.
registered.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Exactly.
Be Hazrat Habib in the Mashaya. You know, be that person.
Yeah.
There's no reason why so we always need help. So, and the more people that volunteer, the more we can make sure we do things better each year.
Mm-hmm. And sort of, I know we spoke briefly about the education team
Yeah.
that I was part of for 1 year.
Yeah.
But what does your organisation team look like? How many teams do you
Okay.
have? And so what are their responsibilities?
Okay, so probably the most important team is the education team.
Yeah.
And you know what? Marble Arch and Park Lane now, it's not as if you have to go out and tell people. But if you're wearing a high-vis vest in blue saying information, people come and ask you.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. It's not you like doing double league and going to ram thinging people down. That's all gone now. Because there's so many people there. And linked to that is a TV screen. The TV screen plays the whole day. So from 9 a.m., 3 hours before, we play short videos in English about Karbala. Imam was saying. So people watch that. So with having the information team, for example, the education team, they are in the highest demand. And every year we struggle to get enough people to tell people who are asking, why are you here? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So so if you're passionate and like I say, 1 day a year, if you can talk about what I'm saying, you get training, you get 2 pieces of paper giving you the typical question people ask and how to answer it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Brilliant.
So that's really important. Then the next we have we have about 35 stewards.
Okay.
They wear red turbans and they are like in different teams. So we have
So like team leaders?
Yes, team leaders.
Okay.
So there, for example, the stewarding team,
Yeah.
the marshalling team, the Baroque team. So at the halfway point down Park Lane, the Baroque team will hand out drinks and some food to those who are turning around, going back up towards Marble Arch.
Okay.
You have the speakers team, you have the equipment team, you have the Zaris team.
Okay.
We've got all these Zaris we've got now, all these replicas we have. We have the Shabi Tabuts, we have the Holy Shrines, and the alams and the flags, so a team for that. You have the Marble Arch team. And then with Marble Arch team, it's also looking at the security. Who's coming into Marble Arch? God forbid, who's leaving Marble Arch?
Yeah.
On the day, we're very clear, we do not allow any random person to hand out any food.
Brilliant.
So we can't take the risk All the mawqifs we have are all registered. Talking about the past, in the first 30 years, we had no mawqifs. We had to do everything. We had to then buy the kebabs, buy the everything, and hand them out ourselves. But now, mashallah, look at the mawqifs, or the mawaqifs. We have, I think, more than 25, and they're from every nationality. You know, they're Arab, they're Iranian, they're Pakistani, they're Indian, you name it. Khoja, and the cuisine is from Italian, you know, from ice cream to popcorn to shawarma to samosas to biryani.
Everything.
Everything. And one thing I've done recently is I've been inviting my neighbours.
Okay.
They're coming, and now I work for British Airways. So every year I invite my colleagues to come along. If you're off work,
you work for British Airways.
Yeah. So I've got BA staff.
We've been wanting business class tickets, Haji Waqar. Where have you been?
So we have BA staff who come on the day.
Excellent.
And it's because what they know about Islam, what they've been fed, is very different to how we are. So we have these another WhatsApp poster saying, "Free food for all in the name of Hussein," and that'll be on the TV screen. Anybody passing by, if you offer them food for free,
The way to a person's heart is free
yeah,
food.
it's food.
Yeah, there you go.
But also they'll then ask.
Yeah.
And for many people, it will be the first time they have ever heard the name Hussein.
Yeah.
For many people.
You reminded me. I actually saw a video clip of a female. She's on TikTok, and she, non-Muslim. She was like just arrived in Bradford.
Yeah.
And subhanallah, she saw a julus.
Yeah.
And she got very emotional because of the stuff people were giving her.
Yeah.
They were giving her free drinks,
Yeah.
free food, and it just led her to inquire more about what was happening. Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And I think it's a brilliant. I don't want to call it a marketing technique because we're not marketing anything, but it's a great way to do tabligh, which is you're saying free food for all in the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. People want to know in whose name, who's this person,
who is this person?
Who's Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And that's when you direct them to the education team who know when to use condone and condemn.
Yes, of course. But you were 15 at the time.
I'm excused.
Yeah. But it's very easy to look. A lot of people make mistakes, but they're soft-hearted.
Yeah.
It's not deliberate. So
No, I know.
I'm not worried about that. But I'm sure she also understood that.
I'm sure at the time with all the stress and pressure, you would have been like, "No, get out."
Yeah.
So what happens on the morning of the procession that many people don't get to see? We spoke about people arriving, the godly hours of the morning.
Yes.
But other than that, what happens on the morning?
So in the morning, yes, you have the very first mawaqibs arriving at about 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
We'd rather come a bit later than that, but everyone's their spot.
Yeah.
So they're at 4 in the morning in pitch dark. Okay. Then you have the volunteers are our first stewards. So our senior stewards. So Murtaza and Dr. Asim and Hussein, they arrive about 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, okay, to see what's happening. At 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, the volunteers come. So we try and each year to get about 250 volunteers to register for various different groups. You talk about different volunteering roles. And then about 11:45 we will start with Hadith Kisa. And this year, what's been really popular is Children's Hour. So Children's Hour, where we invite young children for a few minutes to the podium. So we sent out, the advertisement, and within 20 minutes, the 20 slots were gone, and so many parents pleading for their children to recite.
Wow.
So it's nice.
It's amazing.
See, again, we want this Arbaeen of London to feel that it's your Arbaeen.
Yeah.
That's really important. That you come there, it's your Arbaeen in your country. So that's amazing that we've got. We were oversubscribed. Yeah. This year I've had 5 people, 5 very good muazzins who've done the past. Have all asked this year, can I do the azan?
Amazing.
And that's great. Before we had to search for people, and now people are coming to us.
Yeah, and I think that's tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So it makes our life easier as well, but now I feel sad. It's hard to say no, but I'm saying he's already booked.
Yeah, it's already booked.
He booked before Muharram. He spoke to me a month before Eid, and he's now confirmed this year.
Haji Waqar, I think we're going to keep you for the next segment because I think this discussion still needs to go on. But brothers and sisters, We are going to have someone else. You've seen it from the perspective of the main organizer. We're gonna have a perspective, hopefully on Friday or Saturday, from another team member, and let's get their perspective on the Arbaeen walk in London. We're gonna go for a very short break for Salat al-Maghribeen, and after that we'll be right back with you to discuss the London Arbaeen procession. Stay with us and don't go anywhere.
Avenge Asghar he seeks, my Imam, for you we weep, ironing for you runs deep. Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala. Love and tears are my fuel, marching with them towards you, but a drop in the million sea. Oh Hussein, acknowledge me. I've walked on Karbala's floor to throw myself at your door. I long for Bainul Haramain. My heart is with Abbas and Hussein. Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala.
همه تو کاره، خودشون یه عمره که گیرن، حتی بهترین رفیقامون ما رو ول میکنن و میرن. این که آتیش غمش یک دل و جونمون رو سوزونده، فقط اربابه که تا آخر پای خوب و بدمون مونده، فقط اربابه که تو دنیا و قیامت میمونه کنار ما، فقط اربابه که تو سختی ها گره وا میکنه از کار ما، فقط اربابه که میشه قرار لحظه های بی قرار ما. با تو آخه تو چراغ این راهی، دستمو بگیر و برگردون، اگه دور شدم ازت گاهی، دستمو بگیر بذار آقا که فقط با این علم باشم، وعده دادم به دلم بازم، شب اربعین حرم باشم، بی تو بسم الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وسلم
We once knew the thought of your land is the strength that has pulled me through. The days have become weeks and now months are now years. But for your Hussein all this time I've pledged all my tears. I remember your land and once more tears fill my eyes. How long until your golden dome I see through my skies? And I know the time will arrive. Without you I cannot survive. Please accept me, I'm longing to see your holy shrine. I long to be in Karbala.
shed tears for you with a Zahar. Welcome me to your land so my heart can feel at home. Allahumma arzuqna Karbala. It's been too long since my eyes have filled with your embrace. Please don't say, my master, that I've fallen from your grace. My sins have made me a stranger when you once knew me. This world I'm a prisoner, only you set me free. For in my heart unwavering and eternal flame, ignited by your love and your anguish and your pain. And I know you won't forget me, and your land soon, Hussein, I'll see. Please accept me, I'm longing to see your holy shrine. I long to be in Karbala, shed tears for you with a Zahar. Welcome me to your land so my heart can feel at home. Allahumma arzuqna Ziyarat al-Hussain. I close my eyes and I'm near you. Your dust I can smell. I see where Zainab was standing and where Abbas fell. I see your Asghar in your hands, his blood thrown up high. I hear Akbar fall to the ground for his father cry. I see you alone calling for help and I answer. For us you gave your rule and will do the same, Master. And I know as the time will pass, my love for you, time it outlasts. Please accept me, I'm longing to see your holy shrine. I long to be in Karbala, shed tears for you with a Zahar. Welcome me to your land so my heart can feel at home. Assalamu alayka ya اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج يا إمام زمان يا إمام زمان
مولا 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 तुझसे है ये दुआ मौला ज़हूर कीजिए हर दिल की है सदा अरमां है साथ आपके हम जाए करबला या साहिब ज़मां या साहिब ज़मां
मंजर है करबला का निगाहों में आपकी हो आप नौहान वहाँ हम हो मातमी है आपको हुसैन की गुर्बत का वास्ता
अरमां है साथ आपके हम जाए करबला मौला ज़हूर कीजिए
Welcome back to the live Arbaeen Correspondence, brothers and sisters and dear viewers. And we bring you now live correspondence from our reporters on the ground in the holy land of Karbala and Najaf. We've got with us Sayyid Muthanna al-Musawi, Sister Zamina Mu'min and Sister Mahar Fatima. Assalamu alaikum to all of you. Are they with me, Mr. Producer? Yeah, so Sister Mahar Fatima, if you are with me, I just wanted to come to you first as you are on your way from Najaf to Karbala. If the director can actually show me your image. I want to ask you that, you know, where are you exactly right now and what's the situation like where you are?
So currently I'm walking towards Karbala. The situation at the moment, I've just left Najaf. We're walking towards pole number 1. At the moment, it is quite crowded, but I think that the weather is perfect to be walking at this time. Compared to walking in the day, it's a lot easier, and actually the crowds aren't too bad, in my opinion. I would recommend that any Zawar that are walking towards Karbala decide to do so at the night time. Inshallah, maybe I'll reach our destination.
Brilliant. Sister Zamina, I want to come to you and ask you, you know, millions around the world are watching these images right now. And what message are you hoping that they take away from the live broadcast tonight? Sister Zamina's feed seems to be frozen. Sayyid Muthanna, I pose the question to you. Yeah, you know, tell us about the Imam Hussain charity Mawkib and then we'll move to the question, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, dear viewers of Imam Hussain TV, as what they are charity market. I hope that's not blurry. I hope that it's very clearly. We've also got our signs that we've set up, that we've printed over here. You can look at that with just a click, just a QR code over there. I think you might be able to see it. We'll let you scan. Just by scanning it, will take you to our app, and then you'll be able to make a donation, which is very, very important. While you're on the way making a donation, even a small one, a sadaqah becomes a shield for the person, for the believer. So make sure to make your donation. And also, the most of course, behind me, we were serving French fries, we were serving chips, we were serving watermelon, and inshallah soon we're going to be serving bananas with Nutella sauce on top, inshallah.
Sayyid Muthanna, the choice of service of all these luxuries, why is the Imam Hussein Charity Mawkib chosen to serve these specific items?
So, chips is, of course, a very Western item. So, we thought that since we are a charity based in the West, we thought we'd bring some of that here and serve it to Baba Abdullah Hussein. In terms of the water, in terms of the bananas with Nutella sauce, bananas and the Nutella sauce is a lovely addition which was thought of by our dear brothers Muhammad Fahed and Abu Talib, who are currently at the market serving. The watermelon is, of course, everybody enjoys watermelon. It's very good on a hot during hot temperatures.
And you know, we've seen the Imam Hussein Charity Mawkib develop over the years. Explain to us the reason behind the. Explain to us the reason behind the Mawkib. You know, having such a solid foundation set up at Pole 1114, and not just the tent this year.
Yes. It has really grown over the past couple of years. And you know it better than I do, Minhal. Over the past 2 years, even longer, it was, as you said, merely just a tent. But this year, alhamdulillah, we had our team here from earlier on, the team here in Iraq and Karbala, to make sure to build everything. We've got facilities in the back. We've got the market over here, so that it makes it easier for us to serve and makes it easier for the Juwar, the chips, the watermelon, this kind of stuff to make it so those who who we are, what we are doing, what is the work that we currently do, and alhamdulillah, that's what's very important to us.
Sayyid Muthanna, I wanted to ask you to take us around the Mawkib, but before we do, we'll ask Sister Zamna. Sister Zamna, are you with us?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, I am.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Sister Zamna, for you, what poll number are you at right now?
We're at 500. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, poll 500. Now, you know, you've seen millions around you walking, and thousands of people you've come across their paths. For you, what does this image send to the world?
Hear the question one more time, please.
Yeah, so you've come across thousands and millions of people. What message does this image send to the world of non-Shia or people who aren't aware of the Arbaeen Mashaya? It seems like the connection issue is ongoing in Iraq. I'll pose the question to Sister Meher Fatima. Sister Meher, the question I pose to you is that millions of people that you've seen around you, or the thousands that you've seen around you, what message do you think that sends to people across the world who aren't aware of the Arbaeen Mashaya, or people who are reluctant to go?
Well, look, actually, I had an experience on my flight here where there was this traveler who explores multiple countries, and he actually asked me, we were doing salawat, and he asked me, what does this mean? So I gave him an explanation, and then I asked him, are you here for the Arbaeen? He was actually unaware of the Arbaeen. I described it to him. I told him that it's the largest peaceful gathering of Shia in the name of Allah. through Imam Hussein for the love of Allah. And that's the idea of it. So many Muslims who initially had this negative perception of peacefully together to for one message. And I think that's something that us Shia, we really need to continue to do. Because although we know in our hearts that we are peaceful, we are good people, we try our best and everything that we do is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Islam is a peaceful religion. A lot of media nowadays and governments nowadays, not to get political, but they have this negative perception of it. I think it's time that where social media and media in general is so rampant and everyone has access to this thing that people go to explore and learn. That would be my answer.
Sayyid Muthanna, I want to come to you as you know you've had sort of crowds gathering around you and all the you know the young people around you. Explain to us you know the feeling of serving the pilgrims of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. We just had a kid there crossing your screen saying Salaam alaikum. So I can tell from the basic interaction that it's a wholesome experience.
Yes, definitely. It really is. It's very nice, very enjoyable to serve as well. Of course, as just similar with walking to Karbala, serving is also tiring. Whether it's in the heat or at night or now this nice weather, it still gets very tiring. Sometimes the electricity goes out, but we still continue because we enjoy it. We enjoy serving, and the people, of course, need to continue their journey. Actually, I have a dear brother with me now. Maybe we could ask them what it's like to get from the monk here at St. Jared. And how would you think?
Yeah, you can take us around the any mawqib that you want, Imam Hussein charity or any mawqib that you feel like. Just show us the atmosphere and sort of narrate to us as you feel it and as you see it.
Okay. Let's start off with our dear brother. 16 years old, our dear brother. He's helping out just a couple poles down at a multi-player. Oh. Alhamdulillah. So as the brother is saying, he enjoys serving. He says it's very nice, very enjoyable. Do you know what? Let's start going around. Let's see. Let me show you the mawqib. Let's go a bit closer.
Yeah.
Let's go a bit closer. So over here, I think you can see we've got the new signs that have been printed. Okay, we've got the new signs that have been printed. The mawqib was just serving the chips and the chicken nuggets we were testing out today. Chicken nuggets we were testing out today. And the watermelon now we are serving. Over there, it's being cut up by our dear brothers, the Khuddam al-Hussein. Yes.
Do we have Sayyid Muhsin or Abu Talib there?
Sayyid Muhsin is not here, but Abu Talib is here. Maybe we could ask him a couple questions. Abu Talib, do you have a free moment? Yes, Abu Talib is over there. Abu Talib, how are you? You okay?
It's amazing to be serving along our brothers from London. Hussein charity. This year we're giving out watermelon, fried chicken nuggets, and some dessert, which will be later on, some bananas and Nutellas. And I say a great thank you and well done to all the donors from the Imam Hussein charity. Because none of this work could have been done without their donation and collection. So please keep on donating. The way Imam Hussein will get their thirst quenched. I will have the tabarruk from Imam
Ahsant, Abu Talib.
I see Sayyid Muhsin in the background on your left there. Let's get Sayyid Muhsin's correspondence for us.
say. I was planning on saying that. Please tell me.
It seems like the connection keeps dropping with Sayyid Muthanna and his camera, but we can see that the Imam Hussein Charity Mawkib is doing fantastic work. Head on over to imamhusseincharity.com to donate now to keep the Zuwar of Imam Hussein alayhi salam as refreshed and replenished as possible. We want to thank Mahar Fatima and Sister Zamina Mu'min for their correspondence from the beginning of the Arbaeen walk and from pole 500 where Sister Zamina is. Thank you to all of our correspondents. Now, every Arbaeen, thousands of mawakib appear along the long road to Karbala. Some are small, a single table, a kettle of tea, a few chairs, and others are enormous, feeding tens of thousands of pilgrims every single day. Most people see the tents, the food, the smiles, but they don't see the story behind them, because some of these stories and some of these mawakib have stood through wars, through sanctions, through bombings, terrorism, and unimaginable hardship. Today's story is about one such mawkib, not a famous one and not the biggest one, just an ordinary family who made one extraordinary promise. As long as one pilgrim walks to Hussein, our fire will never go out. The family lived on the road between Najaf and Karbala, and for generations, their house had welcomed pilgrims, aside from the ban. The grandfather had started serving with nothing more than a kettle of tea, one tray, a few dates, and a heart full of love. A heart that's full of love for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. As the years passed, his children joined him, then his grandchildren. Every Arbaeen, the family gathered together. No invitations were needed. Everyone already knew where they belonged. Around the cooking pots, the grandfather had one rule. Before the first meal was served, everyone gathered in a circle, young and old. And he would remind them, we're not feeding people. And the children would smile. They'd heard this every year. What are we doing then? He would reply, we are thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us to serve the guests of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And notice the difference. Service wasn't a burden. It wasn't charity. It was gratitude. Then came difficult years when Iraq suffered under sanctions and under rule of a tyrannical regime that would prevent anyone and execute anyone and imprison anyone who would walk or serve for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Now where food was scarce, families struggled. And one Arbaeen, the eldest son, looked worried. Father, we barely have enough for ourselves. Perhaps this year we should serve less. And the old man remained silent. And then he walked into the storage room. He opened the last sack of rice. And there wasn't much left. And he smiled and he said, cook it. And the son looked shocked. He said, everything? Everything. What about us? The grandfather gently replied, my son, has Allah ever abandoned us before? That's it. The rice was cooked, pilgrims ate, and somehow neighbors arrived unexpectedly, each carrying flour, rice, vegetables, cooking oil, without asking and without planning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent provision through the hands of others. This was in the early days after the fall of the regime of Saddam Hussein. And the man simply smiled. He said, I told you. Years later, another test came. Violence spread through parts of Iraq. Many people were afraid. Some families closed their mawakib, not because they lacked love, but because they feared for their children's safety. And as our dear brother Hussein Sukhni always says, we say, Bi abi anta wa ummi, may my mother and father be sacrificed for you. That evening, the family gathered again. Said, what shall we do? One grandson spoke first and he said, it's dangerous. Another nodded, said, we should stay at home. The grandfather would listen patiently. Then he looked towards the road, quietly. He said, when Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam rode towards Karbala, did he turn back because the road was dangerous? And then silence filled the room. He wasn't asking them to be reckless. He wasn't ignoring the risks. He was reminding them that love sometimes asks for courage. The next morning, the fire was burning again, and not because the danger had disappeared, but because faith had overcome fear. Pilgrims arrived. Many had no idea what this family had debated the night before. They simply received a warm meal, a smile, a prayer. Sometimes the greatest acts of courage look completely ordinary. One afternoon, a pilgrim from Europe sat beside the grandfather. He said, "I've walked in many, many places." He said, "I've never seen anything like this. You people give everything away." And the grandfather laughed and he said, "No, we keep the best part." "The best part?" Pilgrim looked puzzled. He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "The food leaves our hands, but the reward remains." Imagine. Imam Ali alayhi salam said that people are of two kinds, either your brother in faith or your equal in humanity. And that's a famous passage from Nahj al-Balagha. That spirit is visible. Everywhere during Arbaeen, pilgrims are served regardless of nationality, regardless of language, regardless of whether they are rich or poor. Everyone is welcome because every guest is honored. As the final pilgrims left, the youngest grandson asked his grandfather, he said to him, "Jiddu, when you're gone, who will run the mawkib?" The old man smiled. He said, "I won't." The boy looked confused. He said, "You will?" He said, "But I'm only 12. The grandfather placed a wooden spoon into his grandson's hand and said, "I was younger than you when my father first trusted me." Then he said something the boy carried for the rest of his life. A mawkib isn't built by bricks, it's built with hearts. And years later, when the grandfather returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the following Arbaeen, pilgrims approached the familiar spot. The old man wasn't there, but the fire was. His son stirred the rice, his grandson poured tea, his granddaughter handed out bread to children, and hanging beside the entrance was the old wooden spoon. And not because it was valuable, but because it reminded them that some inheritances cannot be measured in money. Now think about this. Every Arbaeen, millions of pilgrims thank the volunteers. But perhaps we should also remember those who came before them. The mothers who cooked, the fathers who carried water, the grandparents who taught their children that serving Hussein's guests is an honor, because no mawkib appears overnight. Behind every cup of tea is a family, and behind every meal is a year of preparation. Behind every smile is a legacy of love. So today ask yourself, what legacy am I building? Will my children inherit only my possessions, or will they inherit my service for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because one day, someone else will stand where you once stood. The question is, what will you leave in their hands? And as we find with the stories when terrorism ripped through Iraq, when the father who lost his 4 sons in the way of Imam Hussain alayhi salam as he was heading from Najaf to Karbala, and he had only 1 son remaining. And he said, "Do I continue or do I turn back?" And that moment was the pivotal moment where he had to decide, do I have the courage to continue my walk after losing my 4 sons? Or do I turn back and tell my Mawla, I lost my sons, I couldn't lose the last one? Was it the moment where he would look Imam Hussain alayhi salam in the eyes and say that your sons were of no more value than my sons? Or would he say, my sons, all for you, Ya Aba Abdullah. You gave your sons away, I'll give my sons away. Brothers and sisters, we're going to go for a short break and then return to you with more images live from the Arbaeen pilgrimage. Stay with us and don't go anywhere.
I've cried, a son has died. Tell me, Hussein, Hussein. I stand here looking at the stars, left all alone in the tent. And maybe these stars will tell me where my son went. Has he gone to death or shadow, toward the swords he was sent? I wish I had not said farewell. To do this I hadn't meant. I embraced him, let go of him, but now with him gone, I wish I never did. My life was him, my heart knew him. Now all it knows is all the tears I shed. On grief I lie, our son has died. Tell me, Hussein, of our son, please bring back to us what they have taken away. Tell me, our son was now our tears rain. Now we have nothing but sorrow, and now I cry. Our son has died. For our son the swords were thirsty for the blood of this pure youth. By God, this blood flows throughout me. All it knows is good and fair. Tell me, oh Hussein, my husband, did he love me till his death? Did he cry for leaving my side? Tears flowing till his last breath. Tell me. My heart's poisoned, my grief weakened. Now I wish that my heart I could throw away. To me hasten, bring me my son. Let me say my farewell to my son's body. And tell me why our son has died. Tell me, Hussein, of our son's pain. Bring back to us what they have taken away. Our son was safe, now our tears rain. Now we have nothing but sorrow in our day. And now I cry, our son has died. I walk through these scattered bodies, crushed and torn by my feet. How many mothers weep on them, wishing with death they would meet. As I search for my son's body in this unbearable heat, the sons they cradle in their arms, their empty bodies they breathe. They are crying, their sons holding. How I wish that my dead son I will not hold. My heart's breaking, my soul aching. king. When a son dies, the mother should not be told. In my two eyes, our son has died. Tell me, Hussein, of our son's pain. Bring back to us what they have taken away. Tell me, our son was saved. Now our tears rain. Now we have nothing but sorrow in our day. And now I cry. And now I cry. Our son has died. As I stand lonely in the tent, you bring me my son's body. My heart shatters upon this sight. Our dead son, your arms carry. We sit beside his torn body, and your tears you shed with me. We watched him blossom, watched him grow. Now our son we will bury. Tell me. Under the ground, fates turned around. He died before his mother had passed away. He makes no sound to the earth bound. He sleeps under the dust, far away from me. Under the skies, our son has died. Tell me, Hussein, of our son's pain. Bring back to us what they have taken away. Tell me, our son was saved. Tell me, tears rain. Now we have nothing but sorrow in our day. Tell me, and now I cry. Our son has died. Look ya Zahra, look ya Zahra, look ya Zahra. Came to Karbala. Zainab said, do not look ya Zahra. Go back, oh mother, they killed my brother. Zainab said.
Welcome back, dear viewers, to the live Arbaeen Correspondence from the London studio, as we bring you Arbaeen as best as we can from all perspectives and all angles. We are now joined by our regular contributor, Brother Mustafa Al-Khatib from Al-Qibla Street in the holy land of Karbala. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mustafa. Brother Mustafa, are you with me?
Alaikum wa rahmatullah. For the great opportunity of your service and service of Ahlul Bayt wa Al-Arbaeen, and especially sister far from the Imam Hussain TV's Karbala and its atmosphere to their home. I'm here from just the
seems like
road of
our Brother Mustafa.
Just inshallah for the questions that you may have for me tonight.
Yeah, I'm just a bit worried about the internet connection, but let's begin. I wanted to ask you, as yourself as a journalist, how do you decide what stories are best to represent the spirit of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam during Arbaeen?
Habibi, Minhal, I couldn't get your question quite perfectly and loud, clear. I think that you were asking that me as a journalist, what I am doing here these days as a Zahra from Hussein alayhi salam. If that's your question, so I just start answering that. Did I understand the question well? Can you just repeat it with a little bit louder voice so I can just hear it clearly?
So yourself as a journalist, how do you decide which stories best represent the spirit of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and the pilgrimage?
Yeah. Actually, as a journalist working here, first and foremost, I would like to say and mention that our duty actually in the Imam Hussein TV channel is not to choose what to show actually to the people of Imam Hussein TV. Our duty and our what is.
It seems like the connection has dropped from. Yeah, let's work on the connection there, Mr. Director, and we'll take Brother Mustafa at a different time, inshallah. Let's go for some headlines now from the news coming out of the land of Iraq, where a few updates have come into us. We start with the Director General of Passports and Residency of Iraq announced a security service and medical alert to the Zurbatiyya-Mehran border concurrent with the increase of the arrival of Arbaeen pilgrims. Iraq announced that since the beginning of Muharram, more than 1.8 million pilgrims from 172 countries have visited the holy shrines. The Holy Shrine of Imam Ali, peace be upon him, announced that it has raised its capacity for providing drinking water to Arbaeen pilgrims to its highest level. Following the reopening of the Safwan Abdali border, more than 5,000 pilgrims from Kuwait have entered Iraq so far and increasing. The delegation of the World Assembly of Hussaini Processions and Mawkibs met with the servants of Arbaeen Mawkibs in Simawa and Rumaytha. The project of the Misbah al-Hussein Foundation to serve pilgrims with disabilities has begun by allocating wheelchairs and transferring them to the Holy Shrine. That's it for the headlines for now. We're going to go for a short break quickly and be back with you in just a few moments. Stay with us and don't go anywhere.
She had to see a new grave had been dug in the morning, a young infant that was buried. There lay the young Qasim, son of Hassan, and next to him the older Ali. But it was Ali al-Asghar, she came to the one they killed in his father's arms. What was the sin of this poor child? When the arrow hit, he had wailed. He cried, I'm thirsty, have they no mercy? Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. When Fatima came to Karbala, Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Go back, oh mother, they've killed my brother. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Another had now joined them in their pain. She had also lost her only sons. Fatima held her hand and led the way to the river she wanted to go. Zainab knew what for, they had gone searching her noble brother. They could not see, his arms would show and lead them to him, where the rest of his body he went to bring back for us water. Then we heard a shout, oh my brother. We saw the flag fell, that was the farewell. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Karbala, Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Go back, oh mother, they've killed my brother. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra.
كربلاء 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 yearning to go to the land of miracles, matter how difficult Karbala on Arbaeen. How can I stay? For the pain in my heart is growing. How can I stay? When to heaven I'll be going to Karbala on Arbaeen. For Sayyid al-Shuhada, I'll give all that I have in the way of al-Hussein, just like al-Bani. She gave away all her sons. I'll give all of my loved ones just to be with al-Hussein on the day of Arbaeen. Oh Allah, I can't live without Hussein. How can I not see Bayn al-Haramain? My whole life just only has one aim, to be beside the one that was slain. Allahu Akbar, ya Karbala, قلبي عاشق زيارة كربلاء. اللهم ارزقنا كربلاء بحق سيد الشهداء. And when I walk, my tears would talk with Zahra, a conversation. I will tell her, she will answer. I know full well your intention. Visit Hussein, visit Abbas. Oh Zaire, you have my blessing. On Judgment Day, Zahra would say, my son Hussein's your salvation. Yearning to go to the land of Abbas and Hussein. Yearning to go, for in my heart there is a flame. It only beats out just one name, no one other than Al-Hussein. I will not stop until I reach your holy land. I will not stop until my feet touch your sand. Just like Abbas Abu Fadil, for you Hussein I'll give my hand. Millions and millions to his grave gather, visiting Hussein and his brother. Abbas, ya Abbas, oh flag bearer, we'll come walking to you in Karbala. Oh Allah, I can't live without Hussein. How can I not see Bayn al-Haramain? My whole life just only has one aim, to be beside the one that was slain. Allahu Akbar, ya Karbala, قلبي عاشق زيارة كربلاء. اللهم ارزقنا كربلاء بحق سيد الشهداء. كربلاء 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 yearning to go to the land of miracles, yearning to go no matter how difficult, to Karbala on Arbaeen. How can I stay? For the pain in my heart is growing. How can I stay? When to heaven I'll be going, to Karbala on Arbaeen. For Sayyid al-Shuhada, I'll give all that I have in the way of al-Hussain, just like al-Bani. She gave away all her sons. I'll give all of my loved ones just to be with al-Hussain on the day of Arbaeen. Oh Allah, I can't live without Hussein. How can I not see Bain al-Haramain? My whole life just only has one aim, to be beside the one that was slain. Allahu Akbar, ya Karbala, قلبي عاشق زيارة كربلاء. اللهم ارزقنا كربلاء بحق سيد الشهداء. And when I walk, my tears would talk with Zahra, a conversation. I will tell her, she will answer. I know full well your intention. Visit Hussein, visit Abbas. Oh Zaire, you have my blessing. On Judgment Day, Zahra would say, my son Hussein's your salvation. Yearning to go to the land of Abbas and Hussein. Yearning to go, for in my heart there is a flame. It only beats out just one name, no one other than Al-Hussein. I will not stop until I reach your holy land. I will not stop until my feet touch your sand. Just like Abbas Abu Fadil, for you Hussein I'll give my hand. Millions and millions to his grave gather, visiting Hussein and his brother. Abbas, ya Abbas, oh flag bearer, we'll come walking to you in Karbala. Oh Allah, I can't live without Hussein. How can I not see Bain al-Haramain? My whole life just only has one aim, to be beside the one that was slain. Allahu Akbar, ya Karbala, صوت النحر صاحب فخر، هذا شهر محرم، نوقف خدم نرفع علم، وحي الحزن تكلم، وحي الحزن تكلم. لون السواد توشحت كل الضماير، راية محرم رفعت جروح المنابر، قلوبنا تظل نار على حسين لهابه، نقسم بالزكية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية. هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه، هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه. صرخة رافضية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية. لمان من قول وفعل هسه وقبل وعدنا، من اللطم ما ننحرم، نكسر عظم صدرنا، نكسر عظم صدرنا. حسين منجنا بكربلاء انكسرت عظامه، خلينا ننعم صيبته ونطبر الهامه. هاي دمانا والله سوى يطيح بعتابه، لو نوقع سويه منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية. هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه، هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه. صرخة رافضية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية. كلمة وعد عن معتقد يبقى عهد عزانه، حب كربلاء هو الصلة من بدل بدمانه، من بدل بدمانه. تبقى المجالس خالدة اليوم القيامة، واللي خدم من فاطمة يحصل وسامة. عاشور شهر الأحزان مع حسين وأصحابه، واحنا لهالرزية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية. هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه، هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه. صرخة رافضية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية. يا غني يا شريف يا مظلوم
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله السلام عليك मजलूम हुसैन ये जलती रेती पे करबला के ये फातिमा के बैन मेरे बेकस मेरे प्यास मेरे तन्हा हुसैन شهيد كربلاء أحرق منك الخباء يا صريعا في العراء يا وريث الاتقياء يا سبيل الأنبياء حسين الباب حسين الباب حسين الباب حسين This was the ultimate stand. You gave your neck, you gave your life, but you did not give your hand. Without a head, without a shroud, your body laid on the sands. Hussein, Imam, Hussein, Imam, Hussein, Imam, Hussein, सर आप दी तू ज़मीने कर पर शाहिदी दे मारे गए सभी बचान है जो मुश्किल माँ ढूंढी पाई खड़ी वो बला के अंदर तन्हा है या हुसैन मज़लूम हुसैन ओ करबला के बगर मोरे गो फातिमा वजारीदा ما بيكس تروريزو قصايد ما تنها حسين نبا حسين نبا حسين نبا حسين कर आहिया हाँ तुझे देती हरदम रहन तुझाहिया तुझे दिल में फकत आही तुझी तस्वीर हुसैन 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 शबीर थारा ज़ालिमा हाय हाय कत्ल चोको करबो बलाए तो कदले सो थका मनीशो पैदापो पैद थामा कोश्ता तरा हुसैन जो नवासे है अली के वो दुलारे अज़ां बोली विपक्षी से खुदा वाले नहारे हमारे है तुम्हारे है सभी के है ये प्यारे avec noblesse et intégrité. Tu es synonyme de liberté qui nous illumine dans l'obscurité. Tu nous as appris ce que signifie servir avec humilité. Llueve sangre el cielo llorando todo el mundo. Llueve sangre el cielo llorando todo el mundo. Por el Hussein abandonado sobre la tierra acostado. remember losing so many. Abbas Akbar and Qasim's body, your two sons On and Muhammad. Their final words echo to me. Their final words echo to me. How did I bring them back to you? Not a tear was shed by you, but you just looked up to the sky. This is my sacrifice, you said. This is my sacrifice, you said. But at home when their memories return, be sure to Karbala.
Welcome back, dear viewers, to the live Arbaeen Correspondent, live from the London studio, where we bring you Karbala and the Arbaeen Ziyarat. Now, if you've ever walked Arbaeen, you'll notice something almost impossible to avoid. Chai. Every few hundred meters, or every few meters, someone is calling out, Chai Abu Ali, tfaddal ya Zayar. Tea, please come. Sometimes you'll think, I've just had a cup. But before you can even finish that, another smiling volunteer appears. Another steaming glass is gently placed into your hand. Have you ever wondered why? Why do Iraqis insist on serving chai? It's not expensive, it's not a full meal. It only takes a few moments to drink. Well, if it's the hot Iraqi chai in the heat of summer, then it might take you more than a few moments. But surely, there are more important ways to serve. Today's story is about a servant who asked exactly the same question. And the answer he received changed the way he understood service forever. His name was Haydar. He was 17 years old. This was the first year his father had allowed him to work in their family's mawkib. He imagined himself carrying huge pots of rice, helping injured pilgrims, doing something important instead. His grandfather handed him a small silver kettle, a tray, and a box of tiny glass cups. Today, his grandfather smiled, "You'll serve chai." Haydar couldn't hide his disappointment. "Just chai?" And his grandfather laughed. He said, "Just chai." All morning, Haydar poured cup after cup, one pilgrim after another. By midday, he had served hundreds of people. By the afternoon, it was thousands. His feet hurt, his arm ached from lifting the kettle. As evening approached, he sighed. He said, "I thought I'd be doing something much bigger." His grandfather overheard him, but he said nothing. Late that night, the crowds became quieter. Only a few tired pilgrims remained on the road. One elderly man slowly approached the mawkib. His clothes were dusty and his shoulders slumped with exhaustion. He looked completely drained. Haydar instinctively poured him a glass of chai. The old pilgrim accepted it with both hands. He closed his eyes, and after the first sip, began to cry. Haydar panicked. He said to him, "Uncle, is something wrong?" He wiped away his tears and said, "No, it's just, this reminds me of my mother." He smiled sadly. "Every time I came home tired from work, she would greet me with a cup of tea. She passed away last year." He looked at the little glass in his hands, and for a moment, he said, I felt like I was at home again." Haydar was speechless. All day, he thought he had been serving just tea. And now he realized he had been serving comfort, memories, love, hope. Sometimes a cup carries more than what's inside it. After the pilgrim left, Haydar turned to his grandfather. He said to him, "You knew." And he smiled. He said, "I hoped you would learn." He pointed towards the empty glass of chai and said, "My son, never underestimate a small kindness. You don't know what burden someone is carrying." Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam said, "A kind word is charity." And this meaning is narrated in Al-Kafi, where the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam repeatedly teach that goodness is not limited to wealth. A smile, a gentle speech, and bringing happiness to another believer are all among the acts beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa will say, a smile is charity. And the grandfather understood this well. Sometimes the greatest service isn't measured by its size, it's measured by what it means to the person receiving it. And the next morning, Haydar returned to the chai station, or the chai khana as we call it. Before anyone else, his grandfather smiled. He said, "I thought you wanted a bigger job." And Haydar picked up the kettle and said, "I do." Grandfather looked puzzled. And Haydar smiled, saying, you know, I've realized this is the bigger job. From that day on, he stopped rushing. Every time he poured chai, he looked the pilgrim in the eye, he smiled and made dua for them. Asked where they had traveled from. Sometimes they spoke for only 20 seconds. Sometimes they embraced. Sometimes they simply exchanged قبل الله زيارة. May Allah accept your ziyarah. And that tiny interaction often became the memory people carried home. And years later, Haydar would become an engineer. He traveled abroad for work, but every Arbaeen, he returned to Iraq. Not to supervise, nor organize, nor lead. He stood in exactly the same place, holding exactly the same silver kettle. And someone asked him, you've studied at university and you have an important career. Why are you still serving tea? And he smiled. He said, because this kettle taught me that no act done sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is small. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam said, do not belittle any good deed, even if it is meeting your brother with a cheerful face. And this teaching is some of the most encouraging teaching, and it encourages having a noble character and kindness between believers. Arbaeen is built upon thousands of these small deeds. A cup of tea, a smile, a glass of water, a place to rest. Each one may seem insignificant on its own. Together, they become one of the greatest annual displays of generosity in the world. Now today, ask yourself, what small act of kindness have I been overlooking? Perhaps you've been waiting to do something extraordinary, to donate a huge amount, to lead a major project, to change the world. But maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already placed something simple in your hand. A kind word, a welcoming smile, a listening ear, or a cup of tea. Because in the school of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, love isn't always shown through grand gestures. Sometimes it's poured quietly in the form of chai. One small glass at a time, and perhaps the smallest acts leave the deepest impressions. We are now joined in the studio by our regular contributor and co-host, Brother Hussein al-Sukhni. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam, Alhamdulillah, Doctor.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, all good.
Alhamdulillah.
Such a beautiful story of the young Haydar who grew up to make something of himself.
Yeah.
And continued his khidmah.
Yeah, and often, you know, I've heard this so many times, and it would say those who fail in school, or those who are naughty, we send them off to Hawza to become religious. Which in Haydar's case, for example, and in many cases in the world, no, Khuddam al-Hussein are educated people, hard-working people. They have their normal 9 to 5. They earn a very good living. They travel whenever they want. And this misconception that, you know, only the fashil goes towards this stuff, it's a huge misconception.
Of course it is. And look at ourselves and our friends and people who grew up here in the West. All of them have studied, all of them have reached certain places. Like yourself, for example, alhamdulillah, you've finished your dentistry and you're working in a prestigious clinic. Let's say, I would say dentist office, but clinic. A lot of people, we have ulama and mu'ammimin who are pharmacists, lawyers here in the UK. And the same applies to Iraq. A lot of the ulama and those who have studied in Hawza have actually reached somewhere in their lives that they can be proud of. And it's not saying that if they didn't study, let's say, Western academics, that means they're not reached somewhere in their lives. No, even if they've dedicated their entire lives in the Hawza itself, and dedicating your life and your days and your hours to studying the religion and passing that on to the rest of the world, that alone is something that they can be proud of and shows they have reached somewhere in the world. I think those studies are more important because that feeds your soul, that feeds your mind. And inshallah, you know, all our khaddam and all our ulama and all people around us who served the Imam Hussain alayhi salam, they've all, you know, amounted to something. Yeah. And it's not saying that's what khidmah is for. Khidmah is for everyone. It's for the poor person who hasn't had opportunities to the rich person who's had plentiful opportunities. And you see that with the different mawakib. Like you mentioned, there's some mawakib that serve just chai, just water. Yeah. That's all they can afford.
Yeah, we've seen them.
We've seen them, we've served with them, you know, had the blessing to serve with them and learn from them. And there's a lot of you know, mawakib who have invested millions of dollars and pounds into it. So there is a wide range of khaddam, and you know, That's the beauty of Ziyarat الأربعين and Ziyarat Imam Hussein and the service to Imam Hussein.
What would you say to the young generation who, you know, dream of when they're doing service in these big mawakib, or they dream of, you know, having that massive team around them where, you know, they build these connections with, but then they come to the Arbaeen Ziyara and then they find out, no, I'm still doing something big. Well, they don't realize it at the time, but they're still doing something big.
But maybe not what they expected, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, I don't blame them. Everyone wants to serve as many Zuwar as possible. I want to go to Arbaeen and serve an unlimited amount of Zuwar. I'm not content with serving 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 people. The more the merrier. The more I serve, the better it is for me, for my future, for my akhirah, for my dunya. So obviously I want to serve more people, and I don't blame the Khaddam for wanting to serve. But again, like you mentioned in the story and you just mentioned now, it's the small acts that actually change someone's life, change someone's experience.
Yeah.
It's the small things that maybe you don't look out for all the time that will, when you see it and you experience it, will stick in your mind, and 10 years later we'll be sitting here in the studio discussing it. You know, so these small acts actually go a long way, honestly.
Yeah, and in the sense of that, you know, grandparents being our role models, our parents being our role models, you know, I think a lot when it comes to that elder generation, they sort of realize that khidmah is not, you know, by how big the mawkib you are serving in is. It's about that small, may Allah accept your ziyarah, may Allah accept your khidmah, or may Allah accept your, you know, your service.
Helping a lady with a wheelchair who can't get past the pothole. I've seen that.
Yeah.
You know, serve her. Allow her to get through the zuwar. That's another form of khidmah, and a great form of khidmah. She'll never forget that. You've eased her ziyarah. There's a lot of khaddam who serve other mawakib. Like we mentioned, Abu Talib the other day. Some people don't have a fixed mawkib they serve at, but they would go around, for example, seeing if they need water, seeing if they need ice, and drinks and food and whatever it is. And they'll go around in the background. Not everyone wants to show themselves in their khidmah. Even though there's nothing wrong with that, and I think you should take pride in your khidmah. Yeah. But there's a lot of hidden soldiers.
There was a mawkib which was only serving water, but the brothers had actually put cardboard boxes over their heads and just cut out little bits for them to breathe and their eyes. And just giving out water.
I saw that, and I saw that the cardboard boxes, they would cut it up and say, "Run out of water.
Yeah.
Here, take these. Shade from the sun."
Yeah. Shade from the sun, or just like a little fan.
A little fan. Yeah.
It's brilliant, and you know we look at things, and obviously when we look at like businesses and stuff, they say look around you. There's always a business somewhere that you can look at something.
There's always opportunity. Yeah.
There's always opportunity there, and for people who have, let's say, tunnel vision into wanting to do the big stuff, look around you. There's other things that you can do.
Yeah.
You can massage someone's feet.
Yeah.
You know, someone who's been walking for days on end, massage their feet.
Yeah.
You can maybe relieve someone of the bag that they're carrying. Let them walk for a few poles.
Which reminds me, one of the young people that I travelled with a few years back, it was their first ziyarah, and it's exactly what you mentioned. They weren't surprised. They're like, okay, there's no one for me to give out food. I want to serve. I was like, how do you take a step back? Okay, there's enough people serving the food. Who's preparing the food? Who's cutting the onions we mentioned? Who's cleaning up the dishes that have just been emptied? There's a lot of service needed behind the scenes as well. But not even behind the scenes, preparing for the food to be given out. The food doesn't just pop out from under the ground. Yeah. So like you mentioned, opportunities everywhere to serve, whether it's physically preparing food or even through your words and actions. There's always khidmah.
For you, you've seen Arbaeen in so many years, in so many different sort of times. Do you think that there's a mawkib or a service that's sort of missing, or not missing, but isn't available in abundance? Because we know Chai Abu Ali is available in abundance.
Yeah.
But
I think there's mawakib for everything. I was thinking about this the other day. There's mawakib for teaching you how to recite Quran properly, how to recite your salah properly. There's mawakib, and there's ulama sitting there in the sun just waiting for people to ask them questions. Just, you know, there's mawakib literally for everything. There's medical tents, there's wheelchair repairers, there's pram repairers, there are massages, there's sleeping areas. You know, there's mawakib for absolutely everything. And just come to think of it, there's even mawakib for Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Mawakib for charging phones.
For charging phones and Wi-Fi. Come sit here, charge your phone, connect to the internet, contact your family. I've seen everything. Yeah,
I think there was a person who had one speaker, and he's just sitting on the road, and he made a small sign, and he said, "Al-Mafqudin," those who have been lost. He just sits on the speaker all day.
And he would just shout the names. Yeah, that's crazy.
Paul 1001, and he's near Paul 1114. I think he's Paul 1113. But you can hear him.
You can hear him, yeah.
Your child, Fulan from Fulan City, your child is in this. But poor guy, if someone English came to him and who's lost, I don't know how he's...
As long as the name is being called out, you know?
Yeah, John Stevens. Arbaeen in London, because, you know, for yourself, you've been to Arbaeen in Iraq almost every year. How many years has it been since you've been to Arbaeen in London?
I haven't. I've made it so... Sometimes they do the Arbaeen procession a weekend after Arbaeen.
Yeah.
So I've made it back for the procession.
Yeah, for the procession, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I made it back for that, I think, several times. But the actual day of Arbaeen have always been...
How representative is that to someone who's never been to Arbaeen?
This is a difficult one, because I think in terms of a unification in numbers, yes. They'll come and see all these people different.
But like Mawakib, service, generosity.
There are Mawakib. We're going to have a Mawakib inshallah in the name of Rasul A'zam in the Masira this year in central London. But nothing compares. The majority of the Mawakib here are serving food.
Yeah, I'm not talking about comparative, but I'm talking about representative. Is it sort of representing sort of what's happening?
As in, I'd represent through comparison, because I've been to both.
Okay.
But if I was to ask, I think that's a good question to ask someone this year. I might take a few friends who've never been, or maybe are not even Shia, to the procession and see what they think.
Yeah, because earlier in the show we had the brother Waqar Haidar, one of the organisers of the Arbaeen procession. And, you know, he was giving us sort of the history behind the Arbaeen procession.
40 years now, I think, or 49 years.
44 years.
44 years, yeah.
1982 they started.
Ajib.
And for someone like him, you know, this is his whole life. He says, you know, he prepares they start preparing 4 months in advance.
Even more, I get messages from him, I think, literally after Arba'een's finished, preparing for the next Arba'een.
No way.
The guy's life is dedicated to this khidmah.
And you know, for someone like him, credit to him, but I just feel like, do you feel like he's been prevented from the Arbaeen in Karbala?
I think most definitely. I think a lot of the Khaddam, in Arbaeen I think most people would go, but for example if you compare to Ashrat Ashura and the 10 days of Muharram, a lot of the Khaddam that wish they were in Karbala, me being one of them, I wish I was in Karbala every year.
Yeah.
But I know I have a wajib here. I have you know, my commitment here to serve the Zawar here, the Mu'azzin, the people who come to the Majlis of Imam Hussein. So yes, there are things stopping people like Waqar going, but I think his thawab is wasal, as we say, because what he's doing here is incredible. Yeah, anyone that runs an event like that, where they are bringing people together in remembrance of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, getting those people fed, getting those people the opportunity to cry for Imam al-Hussein, to remember the Ziyarat of Arbaeen when they can't go maybe. I think that's a great service.
Yeah, I think the Arbaeen procession here in London, year on year gets better.
Yeah.
And year on year they try to improve and try to make it as close to Arbaeen as they can, even though nothing will ever compare to Arbaeen. Talk to me about your first Arbaeen, and you know, don't mention the whole way, but the moment where you turned and you saw the dome of Imam al-Hussein.
I think after that year, and I'll tell you my experience now, I made it a thing where I had to take that specific route into Karbala, where I know once I turn the specific corner, the dome is right there in front of me. And then that's when you think, Yuswa ta'ab.
Yeah.
It's worth every step, every sweat, every tear. It was worth it just to, you know, set your eyes upon the dome of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and Abu Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. So that's the aim, that's the focus. When you're starting the walk, I'm always thinking, just in a few more days, in a few more hours, in a few more minutes, in the next 100 meters, I'm going to turn, I'm going to see the dome of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And I think that's the goal, that's the motivation. Some people, by the way, the Iraqis, they come, they see the dome, they send their salam and they head straight back.
Yeah.
Some people don't even stay in Karbala. They make way for the Zawar.
I've heard, yeah.
He'll come, he'll walk from days from Basra, from Nasiriyah, from Samawa, from Diwan, from the southern cities, reach Karbala, send their salam to Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, to Abu Fadl al-Abbas, and get on the coaches, go back home.
Have you ever seen I remember we mentioned Abu Talib, subhanallah, that man, only good memories from him. I remember one time we were, what poll was it? I think it was about 1,225. Don't ask me why I remember that number. But there was an Iranian mawkib serving kella pacha at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Everyone was waiting for that.
Everyone was waiting for it. But the problem is the mawkib didn't have that many people sort of coming towards it. So we were waiting for a few boys to catch up with us. Turned out an hour or two later that they had caught a cab and didn't tell us. But anyway, Abu Talib just stood there and he just goes, Kalla pacha,
He starts serving with the mawkib.
Start serving with the mawkib. So my question to you is, have you ever seen a mawkib that's like not had any zuwar around them and you've just been like, you know what, let me just go in there?
Oh, plenty of times.
My Karbala'i Hussein Sukhni is coming out today.
It's not just me, all the shabab that I'm with, once they see a mawkib or at a rest stop, wherever they rest, they're serving.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 5-minute rest, even if it's a layover. They would sit there and then they'll see the guy serving chai. One of the boys would get up and say, can I serve with you?
Yeah.
And they'll take the tray and serve. They'll see water, they'll go hand out water. One of the boys saw some guy spraying to cool down the zuwar. He went and put on the pack and started spraying the zuwar. So the boys, they do serve consistently and they look for opportunities to serve. Even power banks, when they hear someone, oh, my battery's low, power bank, boom.
Yeah.
Then walk with them.
Yeah, I think several times I've had people come up to me and just ask, you know, Iranians, I don't know them, but I don't speak Farsi. But they just be like, Wi-Fi? That's a hotspot.
Hotspot, quick time.
If you're ever around me and my hotspot is on, password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Don't want to make it long for the Zuwar. But any final thoughts from you?
Again, inshallah, we get the opportunity to go Ziyarat.
Still say inshallah.
Inshallah, every year, every day, every morning, every time on the show, I'm going to say the same thing. Inshallah, we have the opportunity to go Ziyarat and we can serve, inshallah, from there. Inshallah. And inshallah, all the team at the back, Salman, Imriza, Haidar, all the boys behind the scenes, they can all get the opportunity to shut the door and head towards Karbala, inshallah.
Inshallah. Brothers and sisters, we will be back with you at 3:30 p.m. tomorrow, London time, and 8:30 p.m. London time as well, to bring you more of the pilgrimage of Arbaeen. And as we lead closer to the day of Arbaeen, we will have everything, all the footage, all the reports ready for you to bring you the experience that you may miss out on this year. Inshallah you don't. Inshallah you get to make it. And inshallah you book a ticket. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
حسينا يا لثارات الحسين
Janawaya, you covered in blood. Janawaya, you covered in blood. Is this the blood of Fatima's son? Why can I hear Zainab's wails and cries? Why is the sky dark as my father died? Jannah, أقبل من الميدان علي وإلهي وحسينا. جناه أقبل من الميدان علي وإلهي وحسينا. أيوة غريبة وحسينا، أيوة مظلومة وحسينا، أيوة شهيدة وحسينا. If you cannot bring my father to me, if you cannot bring my father to me, take me to him so his face I can see. I want to tell him how they've hurt me, to show him the bruises on my sad cheeks. Jannah أقبل من الميدان علي وإلهي الفجر